Here's how to start a junk removal business, and most importantly, how to start getting customers quickly. When I first started my junk removal company about 2 years ago, I had no idea what way to go as far as getting customers and growing my business. So I wasted a lot of time, energy, and money going down all the wrong paths. Also, I'm going to skip past all of the legal stuff in this video, so go get your LLC, make sure that you're insured so that you don't bankrupt yourself when you chip Nancy's $50,000 hardwood floors, please. So the first thing that you need to do after starting your business and making sure you've got the legal stuff addressed is start your Google business profile. Why, you may ask? Well, because every customer you get at the beginning of your business is going to be worth so much more than the money they pay you. Think about it this way. In the beginning, you are not working to make lots of money. You're working to grow your business so that you can make lots of money. Often when I first started, I would almost break even on a job, but I would make sure to ask for a review on my Google business profile. Over the course of my junk removal company's lifespan, my reviews on Google have been invaluable and can mean the difference between getting a job and having a customer go with someone else. Okay, so I've got my Google business profile. Now, what kind of truck should I get to start? So I've seen people use all kinds of different trucks for junk removal, but what I would advise is that you get one that can grow with your business. Like the one I'm sitting on right now. I started with a newer Ram 1500 and didn't know anything about trucks at all. All I had was a V6 engine in it, and it seriously lacked power. I literally did not even know what a V8 engine and a V6 engine, what the difference was. So that should tell you. I highly recommend that you get something that can one day tow at least 10,000 pounds. In junk removal, you're really not going to be loading your trailer more than 4,000 or 6,000 pounds. And my dump trailer, for example, weighs about 4,400 pounds, so about 10,000 pounds is definitely being conservative. There are some F-150s, Tundras, Silverados, and Ram 1500s that can handle this with the right towing package, but for the most part, you're going to want an F-250 or a 2500. The reason? Well, one day you're going to want a dump trailer. I know they're expensive, but try unloading an 18-foot utility trailer with plywood walls in the 95-degree heat at a smelly landfill all summer and see how worth it that price tag truly is. If you can't afford the 20 to 30 grand minimum it's going to take to get a used one of these bigger vehicles right away, you can always take the path that I took. At least get a truck or an SUV with a V8 engine and be prepared to sell it or trade it in later. But if you have a job, save like crazy so that you can start this business with some decent equipment. Don't quit and jump in with a beater truck and no trailer. You can, but just be prepared to have some tight finances for a while. So part 3, and this is probably the most important part, is how do I get customers? This is the part of the business where you're going to need to swallow your pride and accept that you're going to have to hustle, grind, and fight for everything you get. So Google service ads are a great way to get some leads early on, but without some reviews on Google first, like in my first step, even having that Google verified sticker next to your ad listing isn't going to sell many people on your services. So how do you get the jobs in the beginning with no reputation and no trust from potential customers? There are 5 things to know when it comes to free advertising for this business at the start. Your existing friends and social media following, Facebook and Nextdoor, Facebook Marketplace, yard signs and door hangers, and finally, thrift stores. For your existing friends and social media following, this is where swallowing your pride may come in. To varying degrees, everyone is worried about what people think of them. You've gone out on a limb and started something, and you're probably worried that the guys you went to high school with are going to see you and what you're doing with a beat-up truck and trailer and think you're a dreamer and that things will never work out. Maybe it's your mom and dad, and you want them to think you're not a failure. So swallow your pride, make a post to a personal social media account, send a text to everyone on your contacts list, let people know that you're starting up a new business and looking for clients. If your friend doesn't need junk removal, maybe one of his 5 closest friends might, or maybe his girlfriend's grandmother needs junk removal. The more people you let know about your business, the more doors will open up for you. Imagine it like a family tree. A family tree expands from 2 people into dozens and hundreds over time. The same can be true for your business, and you don't know what opportunities you're missing out on by not sharing with the people in your circle. This takes me to Facebook. Basically, take the same exact thing you wrote to the people in your contacts, add some pictures of you, your family, and your logo, maybe your dog, and make a post in Facebook networking groups around your area. Many of these groups don't allow promoting a business, but there are some you can do this in. Nextdoor is possibly my favorite social media option because you can pretty much post anything business related in here. Just don't post obnoxiously frequently, maybe once a week. Do the same thing I advise for Facebook here. Facebook Marketplace is kind of a unique thing because you can't outright advertise your services on Marketplace. They will take your post down. However, if you find posts that are advertising free or cheap items, you can copy and paste a script from your notes like the one I use.
My name is Sam and I own a family business called Bold Faith Junk Removal. If you find that you can't get rid of this or any other items you're looking to clear out, I give great rates to come haul everything off. Let me know if you're interested and I can get everything removed ASAP.
This doesn't work all of the time, but it works more than you might think. I've actually had several of you comment or send me emails talking about how effective this is, so give it a try for yourself. Yard signs and door hangers are pretty self-explanatory. I use UZ Marketing. They have the best rates I've seen and their quality is good. Not a sponsor, although if you want to sponsor me, I'm happy to let you sponsor me. I also recommend putting yard signs at Home Depot and Lowe's because the folks that go there are usually thinking about projects, which typically means some kind of mess to clean up. Finally, thrift stores are an under-the-radar way to keep the phone ringing. If you donate stuff at thrift stores and establish a relationship with the people at the front desk, you can often give them business cards and tell them to hand those out to people that need to get rid of old furniture. You definitely want to look reputable when you do this, and you also want to make sure and only target thrift stores in wealthy areas. Otherwise, you'll get a lot of people thinking your services are free, and trust me, I know from experience. So the goal of having a business, at least to me, is to make money. And I'm not just talking about your top line, I'm talking about your bottom line. And you would be stunned at how many people don't understand this concept. So I would rather make $200,000 in gross revenue and end up coming away with $90,000 than I would making $1 million and coming away with $90,000 in bottom line revenue. And you may be asking, how is it possible for someone to make that much money and still have that low of a bottom line? Well, I see it all the time. If you watch Mike Andes and his kind of like business takeover thing, so many businesses are obsessed with loading up on equipment, loading up on debt, and then having a terrible bottom line number, terrible take home pay. Like the whole reason that I'm in business and the whole reason that you ought to be trying to be in business, I'm not trying to speak for you, but this is just kind of what I think ought to be the case is you're trying to make money so that you can support your family, so that you can live the lifestyle that you feel God has called you to live, whether that be generosity, whether that be blessing your family or blessing those around you. You want to be able to make money in order to do that. And let me tell you, the way that you end up in that situation is you stack up debt. So you buy a truck that you can't afford. You buy a trailer you can't afford. You start hiring people when it's really not time to hire in the business. Unfortunately, in this industry, from what I have found, in order to really truly make a decent living, you have to do one of two things. The first thing that you could do is you can be a solo owner operator like I am myself and make a lot of money because I'm not paying for ads, haven't paid for ads in a really long time because I've done things the right way. I used all the techniques that I told you about for how I built my business to where it is now. You just end up being really profitable, maybe not working as much as you would otherwise with Google ads, whatnot. You could make marginally more money, but for the amount of work that you're doing, your margins are not going to increase enough to warrant being away from your family for an extra 3 or 4 hours a day. Or the other way that you could be profitable with your business is you could literally put everything into marketing, put everything into employees, put everything into debt, and then you have to make your business big enough to where your crappy margins are still paying you more than the solo owner operator is. And there's a price tag, or at least I think there ought to be, on the headache that comes along with owning a really big business like that. I find myself really stressed out just managing my business when it's just me, just myself, and I'm doing maybe 1, 2, 3 jobs a day. I cannot even imagine what the headache would be like managing 2 or 3 crews of people. And there ought to be a price tag on that. Like if it just makes me an extra 10 grand on the year and I have to work an extra, 10 hours a week, 20 hours a week, I don't know that that's really worth it for the lack of peace of mind, for the lack of time and any other work-life balance that you might want to have. I think that it's worth it to do things the free way, at least for a while, try to drum up business the old-fashioned way, and then slowly get to a place where you're overwhelmed by your calls or, where you really understand Google ads, really understand Facebook ads, Really understand SEO would be the best one of all. And then you can sort of start to maybe lower your profit margins, but you're doing so much volume that it makes up for it. For most people that are watching this video, or most people at any point in their junk removal journey, like the channel says, I think that you're going to want to be an owner operator, and you're not going to want to, at the very least, you're not going to want to take on a whole lot of debt in order to grow your business. I think that people that leverage debt to grow a business are playing an incredibly risky game. I don't go as far as Dave Ramsey did, but I also think that there are a lot of people that go out of business because they dig themselves too deep. They stress themselves out, and the interest in their payments has really taken them down. I want you to start a successful junk removal company. And that does not mean having a lot of equipment, and it doesn't even mean having a packed calendar. I just want you to be able to support your family, and I want you guys to not worry so much about money. I want money to be one of the last things that you have to worry about. Life is hard enough. So I've been asked by a lot of you guys recently for advice and help when it comes to starting a junk removal company or maintaining one, making more money, finding more customers, etc. I want to do something that not a whole lot of people do. I'm going to offer free coaching sessions to you guys. I'm going to do 30-minute sessions, and I think I'm going to do either 5 or 10. And the reason that I'm going to do free sessions is because at some point I want to be able to charge for my coaching services. I believe that I can bring a lot of value to people out there. I'm not going to be able to help you scale to a $10, $20 million business because I have not myself done that yet. What I've accomplished for myself is created a reality in which I can be comfortable with the money that I make. Money is not a concern for me and for my family. We're not on the verge of being out on the street. I make my payments. I put money away in savings every month, and I want you to be able to do that with a business as well. And if that's the kind of thing that you want to do with your business, and you're looking at me and you're like, Sam, I have absolutely no idea where to start with this business, then maybe I would be able to help you. And if I'm able to potentially save you or make you tens of thousands of dollars in the long run, wouldn't it be worth it if one day when I do start charging for coaching talks, I charge you $50 or $100 for a half hour or for an hour worth of my time? I think that investment's worthwhile. But right now, before I have coached anybody, I don't want to charge people. I want to learn and experience what it's like to talk to you guys and to give you advice. If you send me your logos, your branding, your marketing information, tell me what your strategies are, ask me how to price things, all the different questions that you might have about junk removal. Or maybe, you're just getting started and you're like, hey, look at my location. Do you think that this is even a good place where I could start a junk removal company? Do you think that the customers that I would need are even located here? You can ask me any of those questions. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave my email and my phone number below. If you want to email me or text me, I would be happy to set you up with one of the 10 free slots that I'm going to be doing as far as coaching calls. This is going to be a part of my business that I'm super transparent about. I'm transparent about everything to do with my business. I want to provide you guys with value, and I'm going to charge at some point for the value that I bring. I don't want to make any kind of promises other than I will help you not to make the mistakes that I've made, and I will help you to understand why what I'm doing is working and making me money. So if that sounds interesting, please click on the link. Also, if you're interested in me going more in depth on any of the marketing solutions that I gave you an example of today, I'm going to leave a link down in the description. And potentially in the comments for the video where I really go in depth and explain how I do things like Facebook Marketplace for free, Facebook groups, etc. A lot of the free marketing tactics that I have, I go much more in depth. So if that's something that's interesting to you, then click that link below. I will see you guys in the next video.
Talk to the people. Say, yeah.